Assalamu alaikum. Peace be upon you. So, if you tuned in a couple of days ago, you would have heard me make a fairly public and fairly private revelation. Now, I'm not going to go back into it, but what I would like to share is a little bit about the joys of actually being our true souls, accepting who we are, being who we are, proclaiming who we are, and not trying to change who we are for other people. So I know I have a long history of trying to fit in because I didn't fit in. I was a kind of different person, whether it be sect or religion or dealing with other different groups. I always felt the need to fit in and sort of hide my beliefs, to hide aspects of my personality, to hide my ideas or things that I believed. But, that can be a very, well, demanding job. It's a lot of work and effort to hide our true essence and to conceal and pretend to be someone that we're not. So you guys may remember the Fugees, everybody wears a mask, but how long will it last? So these are sentiments that have been documented in pop culture and other references for a long time. But it's really difficult when you hide who you truly are and when you try to pretend that you are something that you're not. And it can be very liberating and very empowering to accept the essence of who you are and to simply be your true self. Now, it's not without risk, right? Because there are going to be people who, when you reveal who you truly are, don't like that and they don't accept it and they reject it and they put pressure on it and they try to change you and they try to reject you. Like all of that happens. But the more we live in the shadows of who we truly are and we conceal our essence, the more stress we internalize, the less capable of being free and relaxed and at peace with who we are and our identity, and the more we're putting on a show. And ultimately, and this is something that I've learned from, studying the lives of people who are much older, at the end of the day, when you're, 60 or 70 or 80 years old, you don't care what other people think about you anymore. And you also realize that ultimately other people don't care who you present yourself to be either. We're all living very complex, very complicated, very, strenuous lives. And at the end of the day, if you're not willing to be who you are in your own company and you're hiding your essence from everyone else, how can you function and accept who you are if you don't even feel comfortable sharing who you are? And yeah, there are a lot of people in the world who aren't going to accept or don't appreciate or don't believe as you believe. But ultimately, their opinions are inconsequential to yours. Now, I'm not saying that if you make a lot of mistakes and you're doing a lot of bad things in the world, you shouldn't try to reform yourself. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is ultimately you are who you are and you should embrace who you are. Or at least I learned that I need to embrace who I am. I can really only speak for myself. But I know that trying to live in an illusion and put on a facade takes a lot of energy. And actually, there was a quote that says something along the lines of, it's very easy for me to I don't it's very easy for me to live an honest life because I don't have to remember anything. I just tell the truth. And the idea is that if you have to remember and constantly put on a show for different people depending on who you're interacting with, you have to remember all of the lies, all of the ideas that you're sharing in this position and that position. It's a lot easier to live life simply if you simply embrace who you are and speak your truth. And I know that that doesn't come easy for everyone because this world, especially, not even just the society, all societies on earth, right? A lot of people are very judgy. They're very judgmental. They want to tell you how you should live and everybody's got an opinion, right? Everybody's going to tell you what you should and shouldn't do. But at the end of the day, if you live for your own soul and you acknowledge, at least in my case, if I accept what God has ordained for me and I accept what He's guiding me to, then, what difference does it make what other people believe about what I'm doing if my Lord is happy with me? And again, that is often language used for oppression and for, attacking other people and different minorities and these kinds of things. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm simply talking about the good God that exists in this universe and is master and dominion of over all of them, he has certain goals and expectations and desires of his creation. And if I'm doing my best, and I know sincerely that's what I'm trying to do, then whether other people don't believe in God, or whether other people don't agree with my religion, or other people don't approve of my ideas, it really doesn't matter. I'm living my life not out of obedience to people, but out of obedience to God to the best of my ability. And I'm not perfect, and God knows I'm not perfect, and knows I make mistakes. And as long as I'm willing to turn back to him when I do make a mistake and confess my mistake to him and make amends to the people that I harm, God's not going to hold it against me either, right? If you seek repentance, God forgives. So I feel like a lot of the time and pressure, and so there's all of this effort trying to conform us and mold us into following and doing what is socially acceptable. But I'm sure you've heard the quote, right? If you try to please everybody, you can't do it, but the only person you really need to please is yourself. Now, I would modify that and say the only person you need to please is God. So long as you're taking care of your responsibilities with him, he'll take care of the responsibilities with everybody else. And there's a special taqibat, which is a special dua that's recited after Fajr prayer, after the morning prayer. And I'll recite the Arabic and then the English. So it says, Ma sha Allah, la ma sha an-nas. So whatever God wills shall be done, not whatever the people wish. And then it says, Ma sha Allah wa in kariha an-nas. Whatever God desires and whatever God desires will happen, even if the people detest it, even if the people hate it. It's still whatever God desires is what's going to end up happening. And then the second line says, Hasbi Rabbu min al-marbubin. Take care of, or take account to the Creator, not to the creation. Actually, to the Lord, to the Provider, not to the provided. Hasbi al-khaliqu min al-makhluqin. Take account to the Creator, not to the created. Hasbi al-raziqu min al-marzuqin. Take account to the sustainer and the sustainer of the universe, not to the one who is sustained. And so I feel like I have been feeling an overwhelming amount of pressure as I've been sharing some of these videos to just share, some of these personal aspects of who I am. But especially yesterday and today, I just realized that it's so much easier to just be who I am, embrace who I am, and proclaim it. Because the more I try to hide it, the more pressure internally there is, the more, things I've got to take account of and try to watch for, and, can I say this in this company? Can I say this in this company? If I just be who I am, it's okay. And if somebody disagrees with me, that's all right. And it doesn't mean I have to share every opinion every time that I have it, but I don't have to hide it from myself. There are times that, there is the right time and the wrong time to share certain truths with different people. But if you're not even willing to admit to yourself when you're looking in the mirror, it's a very tense way to live. And I'm just finding a lot of peace and tranquility in accepting the essence of who I am, accepting the life that I live, accepting my role on earth and the service that I'm trying to do and that the way I'm trying to live my life, and just being at peace with it. Because ultimately, I'm going to live my life alone, I'm going to die alone, and I'm going to be judged alone. No one else is going to go into the grave with me and be asked about what I did. I'm only going to be asked about what I do. And no one else is going to testify for me. I live this life alone, I come into this world alone, and I leave this life alone. And ultimately, I'm returning to my Lord who knows everything anyway. So it doesn't make sense for me to try to hide who I am from myself or from other people, when it makes, at least for me at this point, much more sense to simply embrace who I am, embrace my identity, embrace my soul and the way that God created me to be, and just live at peace. So, do I have health concerns? Sure. Does it really matter? No. The reality is I'm at peace with my own self. And I wanted to share, there's a Lupe Fiasco song. Lupe Fiasco is one of my favorite rappers. And he has a line in one of his songs called Words I Never Said. It's a beautiful song if you've never heard it. You can look it up. But in the third stanza, like right before the song ends, he says, fear is such a weak emotion, that's why I despise it. We're scared of almost everything, afraid to even tell the truth. So scared of what you think of me, I'm scared of even telling you. Sometimes I feel like I'm the only one. No, sometimes I feel like I'm the only one that I can tell it to. I'm locked inside a jail in me. I know there's a cell in you. Consider this, you're breaking out, so take a breath, inhale a few. My screams is finally getting free. My voice is finally getting through. Something along those lines. Maybe I misquoted it. But the point is, we're so afraid to tell people what we really think, what we really believe, what's really in our hearts, that we're so afraid of telling anyone that we're afraid of what they're going to think of us. So we don't even tell them what we're feeling, what we're thinking, what we're imagining. And I feel like today's the day that I'm going to let go of that. I'm going to get out of that jail cell and just be who I am. And it's been a process in the working, right? It takes time and effort to build up to it, but there's such relief in just being who I am and expressing my opinions and expressing my beliefs and not feeling like if someone disagrees with me, that's a reason to hide who I am. And again, there's a time and a place to share every opinion. Like, you don't have to go on blast and at every moment do that. But at least I've decided to be comfortable with myself, with my soul, and be my true soul wherever I'm going. Because if they like it, cool. And if they don't like it, cool. It's not up to them, it's up to me to be and embrace who I am. And if I have work to do and I need to improve, then that's what I'll do. But I'm not going to deny and live in the shadows of who I'm afraid people will think I am, or afraid of what people will say to me, simply because I'm worried about their opinions. Because ultimately everybody has an opinion, and the only opinion that really matters ultimately is what God thinks. So, there you go. That's my 2 cents for today. I'm feeling happy, I'm feeling excited about what's going on. I'm excited to be embracing and living in that fullness, to just be who I am. And I hope that you find that same peace in your own way, in your own time. May God guide us all to the right path and guide us all to the truth. And may He guide us to be the best version of ourselves. And may we yield to God's guiding us to our ultimate perfection. Because ultimately all of the struggles in life, the hard times and the good times and the bad times, they're all God inviting us to become the most perfect version of ourselves. And if we go with God as He is molding us and guiding us and training us and helping us grow, then we'll become the most perfect version of ourselves that He's guiding us to be. And if we resist, and we have the choice to do so, things get harder. So I pray that I continue to choose the easy path and go with the direction God is guiding me, rather than resisting and trying to fight. So that's all I've got for tonight. Have a blessed evening. Take care of yourself wherever you are. Prayers with you and your family. Wa alaikum assalam, and peace be upon you all.